Hello Aquarius! Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if it's your first time. So we're starting it off with Lovers in reverse, with Seven of Wands, Five of Cups in reverse, Five of Swords, Star in reverse, Sun upright. That's Star and Sun together. That's kind of interesting. Magician in reverse, Five of Coins in reverse. You've got five cards here, and fives usually represent change. There's another major change card, Tower. It can mean like restlessness or tumult, or it can also represent freedom, which is something that you Aquarians love. So five is usually about breaking old structures that restrict us and open us up to new knowledge and new freedom. I'll talk more about that when I get to the Tower card, but a lot of five energy towards the beginning of the month is showing up for you. So at the beginning of the month, we see Lovers here in reverse. This is a major arcana card, and Lovers normally means just kind of what it depicts. It's two people being vulnerable with one another, being intimate, being sensual. It's really about emotional closeness, spiritual closeness, integration of the male and female. It's about partnership. Sometimes it can be about compromise, but it's really got a lot of this. You see these calla lilies, which represent like purity and closeness and just freshness, just being very authentic and really showing up in a lover's situation. So this could be either in the reverse position. I mean, this card's showing up, so that may be a focus for you Aquarians. But in the reverse position, it's some way being held in shadow. So there may be some doubt, fear, or resistance having to do with relationships. Now, whether that means that you're doubting your partner or feeling uncomfortable with something about your partner, or whether it's that you're not with a partner but you would like to be, whatever it is, there's something that is just a little topsy-turvy or upside down regarding your relationship status. And what I'm going to encourage you to focus on is the Seven of Wands card, because this card is really about asserting yourself, really about showing up, again, authentically. So my question to you is there a way that you're not showing up authentically? This card is just about being who you are with another, being fully yourself in the presence of another. And this card, which is also in reverse, which is surrounding this, is just about being you as yourself, finding your own unique place in the world. It's about self-value and acceptance and just being naked. In both of these cards, you see the woman is naked, and the man here too. But that's really a card about just being who you are without any trappings, without any social status, without any title, just naturally who you are and who you were born as. So with both of those in reverse, I'm going to ask you, Aquarius, is there a way that you're showing up that is not actually you? You're going to correct that by the end of the month, but I want you to focus on being authentic, being true, being who you really are, and showing up in an authentic, vulnerable way. Like strip the clothes away, strip everything away that is having to do with ego or projection or image or self or any of that, because that's what's holding that in reverse. I'm also going to encourage you to look at this card, which is Seven of Wands, which means asserting yourself. This means standing up to fight for something that you believe in. And sometimes this card is called struggle, and I usually call it struggle despite adversity. Success despite adversity, sorry. It's often called a card of struggle, because you can see he's struggling, against or with some other people here. But I call it success despite adversity because he is in this advantageous position. He is fighting the people below him from above, or it can be seen as that he's leading a bunch of others in like a revolt or riot. Or it's really a card of self-assertion, saying, I believe in this enough that I'm willing to fight for it. I'm willing to stand up for this. It's really a card of standing in your truth. It's a card of saying, this is what I believe. I'm willing to fight for it. I'm willing to struggle just to maintain this. So how can you, with these two cards showing up, be authentic show up as yourself, and also stand up for what you believe in is what I'm getting from this card here. That's gonna, it may feel like a struggle, it may feel hard to do it, but it's going to benefit you because, again, success despite adversity. If you're willing to, if you're having any kind of conflicts, especially in your relationship, you speak out about it is what this card says. You know, assert yourself, stand up for what you believe in. He's even looking at them. So it's, I get the sense there's some way in which you need to show up authentically in your relationships to bring about peace, bring about hope, get rid of this turmoil. Or even if it's like in regards to how you see relationships, maybe it's that you need to stand up and maintain yourself within any relationship, or say something to just be who you are, Aquarius. Usually that's not a difficult thing for you guys. It looks too like there may be some sort of disappointment or sorrow or sadness that you may be having a hard time letting out. This card is 5 of Cups, and it's usually a card of grief and sorrow. You can see these 3 cups have been spilled. It's usually about loss, and especially some sort of emotional loss. This usually represents either blood or wine that's spilled, and there's a real focus in this card on what has been spilled, what has been lost. But what I always point out in this card too is that when this figure is able to turn around, there's still 2 cups standing here, and there's still love available. There's still like the beloved person or object that, you know, memories of them, or another love, or another, if it's something like a job that you love, there's still work that's available that you can love. Whatever this loss represents, or the sorrow or the sadness, there's still things available if you're able to change your focus, if you're able to do a 180 and turn around once you're through your grief. And it may be grief that you're having a hard time expressing or showing. Sometimes Aquarians are air signs, so sometimes there's a hard time to connect with the water realm because you're very cerebral and in the air element. But if you can connect with, like, sort of let your emotions flow freely, connect with your heart, connect with Cups energy, which is emotion, heart. It's sort of like, I'll say even mushy stuff that you Aquarians are usually just too cerebral to allow sometimes that whatever resistance is there to expressing grief or showing it or allowing yourself to even experience it, see if you can work with that and open it up so that you can get through this card. There's actually lessons to be learned and gained from whatever the sun has set on. And that's what this card is about, 5 of Swords. In this card, there's some battle, something that has ended, something that the sun is setting on. And in this card, the figure is picking up these 5 swords. And swords represent the air element, so they represent thoughts, ideas, knowledge, information. I usually call this again, picking up the pieces, but it's about collecting spoils and rewards that are left out on the battlefield. So sometimes this can be insights, knowledge, information, lessons learned, experience. If you collect those things from whatever the sun has set on, it's sort of like you take riches away with you. It's like a learning experience. If you see what you can collect, what is left out on the battlefield, what are rewards that, even though this may have been a sad thing, even though it's something that was difficult, even though it seems like it's something that's completed, it's in the past, the sun's setting on it, see what you can take away from the situation, see what you can learn, see what experiences, lessons are there to be learned from it, because it's not all just about sorrow, it's not all just about grief. There is information that is valuable that you can take away from whatever the experience was. And again, with these 3 5s, there's something breaking apart. There's something changing. 4 is a number of stability, of order, of structure. And then when 5 shows up, it breaks apart into a new reality. I kind of liken 5 energy into like the image of a chick in an egg. And, you know, it's safe, it's contained in the egg. That's very 4 energy, home, nesting, safe, you know, boundary energy. But when you break open the boundary, that's 5 energy, and it breaks open to a new reality. And that's also what Uranus, your ruling planet, is about. It's about having this rebellious wanting new horizons, new territory, new ideas, new ways of doing things. So when 5 shows up, it can feel chaotic or restless, or like you want to change, or it's about breaking something open so something new can come in. It's interesting to see star and sun together. Those are natural complement, and we really have a lot of with these 4 cards together, you have love, 2 couples showing up, and then 2 things that are about you showing up authentically as yourself. So there's really a theme with this corner here about showing up as yourself, especially in regards to how you show up in relationship. With whatever's going on here in reverse with lovers, I get the sense that you correct it by mid-month, or that you have a new perspective, a new view. Because as you can see here, this couple was in reverse. This is lovers. This is major arcana card. So is this. This is a major arcana card, which gives it a lot more weight and importance. And the sun is shining by mid-month on this couple. This is an integration of male and female. This is when they come together, when the sun shines, when like their union is celebrated, when, you know, like for example, if this is the beginning, intimate, behind the scenes, behind closed doors, just the 2 of them together, this is when they come out into the world and say, oh, we want to show our union to others, we want to be out we're ready to express it openly, we're ready to experience the joy and the confidence and the vitality that sun brings. But one of the things I'm going to say, Aquarius, is that you really have to be true to you in order to bring that about. That's what corrects it. Standing up for what you believe in, being willing to fight for it, and as well as just accepting your own value, your own uniqueness, your own place in the world. That's what this card is about. Star is about hope, and it happens when you recognize that you are enough, that you are valuable, and that you have your own unique place in the world, just sort of as part of nature. Like you will see the birds and the trees and the water and the land here. Those all just have their own place. They're all valuable. Same with the stars. They're all valuable just in their own existence. And that's part of what the nakedness of her in this card is about, is that she doesn't need anything else to celebrate her own value, to radiate her own self. She becomes radiant through her self-acceptance, through her recognition of her own gem-like quality, just like any of the stars. It's just by their very existence, they are radiant and valuable. And through realizing that, it gives one and allows one to have hope. Once you go through that process, that's what I get the sense, is that that's when you start really shining. That's when this integration happens, this enlightenment happens. That's when the 2 people come together in a open, full, radiant, confident, joyous way. This card is really a lot about joy and about sort of just shining forth your full self. This is like the seed of that. This is like letting that little star open, and sun is when it comes like fully to the forefront. So I'm going to encourage you, Aquarius, if you're having any difficulties in your current relationship or having to do with relationships in general, if your relationship status is not as you would like it to be, I'm going to encourage you to stand up for yourself, speak your mind, be assertive, as well as correct any doubt, fears, shadows, complications that have to do with your own self-worth and value, just as you are, without any status, any ego things like reputation, title, just as you were born. That's going to help you get to a place where you can actually be naked with someone else, where you can actually show up in full, radiant, sunny, golden light. So that's an interesting coupling of 2 relationship cards as well as 2 self cards about this graduation of shining your light forth, and then also like standing up for yourself and asserting yourself, like this is what I believe, I'm willing to defend it. Then middle of the month, these 2 cards together say that you may not be feeling at the top of your game in the middle of the month, even though your relationship energy is improving here in the middle of the month, and actually is in a really wonderful place. Actually, I'll say, just as an aside, Sun and World are two of the most beneficial cards in the whole deck. They just mean like when it's sort of like when things go your way and when things open up and things irradiate forth. You just feel free, you feel open. It's like having a really good day or a good month. It's when you feel just a lot of freedom. And freedom may be a theme for you, because I've got World, I've got 3-5 cards, I've got Tower, and you Aquarians. That's a real key word for you guys. But towards the latter part of the middle of the month, you got 5 of Coins and Magician in reverse. So in the upright position, 5 of Coins usually means some sort of material loss, like financial loss or something in the physical world. You can see that he's wounded. He's often left out in the cold and injured, and he's being comforted by this spiritual woman or in spiritual garb in front of this church or religious building where there's this spiritual warmth and light that's coming through. So this card is really a card about choice of focus. If we're focusing too much on the material world, on superficial things, like I've got to keep up with the Joneses, I've got to have this kind of watch, I've got to have this kind of job, this and that, then we can feel left out in the cold. We can feel cut off from our own natural self, from the spiritual world, which is always available to us. It's actually sort of parallel to this Star card. Both of these in reverse are saying, are you seeing things as they really are? Are you acknowledging your place in the universe? Are you acknowledging that there's more to life than just things? And this in some ways has to do with some grief that you may that may be causing you to see things in this upside down way. See if you can gather the information, knowledge, and rewards of troubles that have happened. And there may be, I mean, this could be you, Aquarius. There may be an air sign that is in reverse because of that whole thing, that the whole perspective is what I'll say. So Queen of Swords can be Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini. And in the reverse position, she's normally very like assertive, very direct, she could be even cutting in her remarks, but she's very logical, analytical, practical. It's very easy for her to defend a boundary and say, this is the truth, these are the rules. She's very honest. In the reverse position, you're not necessarily connecting with your full self. I get the sense that there's something that's throwing you off, whether it's, these cards are both about loss. So I'm going to say that's what's turning Aquarius, Queen of Swords in reverse, and maybe even in regards to your relationships. But Magician is about personal power and creativity, leadership, authority. It's like authority over yourself, and it's a lot about focusing the mind in one direction in order to create the results that you want. Magician is the first card of the major arcana, and in the middle of the month too, you have 3 major arcana cards showing up for you, and then you have 3 more. Maybe a heavy-duty month for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's half your cards are major arcana, which is not that common. So there's something calling out to you that is saying, sorry, it's like this, that's saying there's change afoot. And Tower confirms that. Tower is about dramatic change that comes out of nowhere. It's like a lightning bolt. And if Tower represents like what's stable, what's consistent, what has always been, what you expect to survive, and you know what sort of structures that have always existed, the lightning bolt comes out of the blue, which is a very Aquarian symbol, out of nowhere. It's got a lot of Uranus energy and like lights it on fire. It's a real card of tumult, and it's a real card of change, whether we want it or not. And in the reverse position, it says that you may be resistant to change, especially too if it's in regards to a fire sign. This Aquarius, I read as representing you, because it could be Gemini or Libra also, but Aquarius most likely. You've got a king and a queen here who are two power players. It may be the same people here since they're in reverse. You know, we've got lovers here and we've got king and queen together who are a natural couple. And King of Rods is a fire sign. So this is Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. And you can see there may be a tower that's breaking them apart. So if you are involved in any way with a fire sign, Sag, Aries, Leo, there may be a change that's inevitable, that I'll say, because tower is pretty inevitable. But in the reverse position, it says you might be afraid of it. You might be afraid, doubtful, resistant, any of those things, like trying to keep it at bay with this inevitable change that's coming out of the blue. So, and because both of these, all of these are in reverse, it's like maybe neither of you want this inevitable change to happen. This could be like you and a boss, or you and like a romantic partner. It could be you and someone else that is, what I'll say, on like a peer level, or someone who has similar authority. It may be challenging your authority. So whatever's going to happen with this fire sign person, it could also, if it isn't Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, it could just be also someone, King of Wands, who represents someone who is eccentric, someone who does things in their own unique, bold way. Like they don't really care what other people think. They are just fiery and passionate, and they do things their own way. They really don't, they kind of break the mold on things. But there's a big disturbance here. You can see there's sort of like a lightning bolt coming from her and a lightning bolt coming from him. So this is sort of like inevitable change that both of you don't necessarily see coming. But what I'll say, Aquarius, is that you come out of it smelling like roses. This is the World card. In some ways, whatever happens here ends up making you feel free. This is the last card of the Major Arcana. And this is, you can see she's wrapped in a purple robe, which represents luxury and royalty. She's free. She's in the celestial sphere. She's surrounded by this wreath of laurels. So this is one of the strongest cards in the deck. And it also means that like the universe is supporting you. It's got the 4 axes of the zodiac wheel. We've got Aquarius, which is you up here. We've got Leo down here at the other side, Taurus, and Scorpio. All of the like heavenly celestial sphere is supporting you, and it's sort of like this is when all things flow. All things good come to you. You feel supported. You feel free. You feel like your true self. It's like the next evolution of the Star card. She's still down here on Earth in the Star card, but in the World card, she's up in the celestial sphere. She's her higher self. She's released and she's free. So whatever happens with Tower here, whether you're resistant, fearful, doubtful, especially if it's in regards to a fire sign or someone who commands authority in a very eccentric, bold, unique way, whatever happens with that, you come out feeling free, refreshed, rejuvenated, your real self. So that's my reading for you, Aquarius. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up or share it with an Aquarian who you think may want to hear this message. If you've already subscribed, thank you. If you haven't, feel free to. And as always, I just want to thank everyone for watching. Yours in the stars.